It is Leah went into indefinite hiatus and was recently diagnosed with anxiety disorder. Kudos to JYP for having her take her break to focus on health. But this is a very important issue that we need to talk about more in K-pop. A quick warning, I will be mildly touching this topic of self-harm, so if that triggers you, you don't need to watch the video. There are multiple idols that have harmed themselves, and some have even left us. You know most of them. But the circumstances that they were in that led them to such drastic measures are quite similar for all of idols. And other idols are also prone to depression and related issues due to their working environment. Idols are preferred young. Idols start their training at very young age, in the elementary or middle school days, and some of them may even debut before graduating middle school. They are young and have to get into a competition for an adult career. They have to undergo extremely tough training and work hours at such young age when their bodies and mind are still developing. And the only thing that's going on in their life is cutthroat competition, the struggle to get first in every competition, and to find success by every means possible. And that stress at such tender age is definitely gonna affect them in later life. Idols are usually on very strict diet and have to starve themselves most of the time in order to conform to Korean beauty standards. And not eating enough calories can have very serious effect on your brain. Your brain will have to continuously depend on ketones, which are mainly produced in stress and emergency situations. Your brain will continuously be on emergency alert, which will result in loss of attention, depression, mood disorders, irritability, and cognition disorders. All that makes you more vulnerable to serious mental health conditions and its complications. Not to mention the constant fatigue that they get from starving themselves is gonna ruin their body completely. Lack of good sleep. Most of the idols work at night, and at their comebacks, they will barely get few hours of sleep. This might look fine for a few years, but this is disastrous for your health in long term. It impairs judgment capacity and have negative effect on mood and behavior. And in long term, this will also affect their bodily function. Lack of family support. Idols are barely allowed to meet their families and are always supposed to stay with their group members. It might be fine if you have a great connection with your group mates, but not everyone has the same capacity of bonding. Some might still crave their families. Not every group has same relationships, some might be there just for work. And even if they are on very good terms, they still might need families that give birth to them. Idols have very little time to meet with their families. This is especially bad when you are training because you are supposed to focus on your training and most of the time you are not allowed to meet your family. Way of Korean Pop once told the media that in her training days, her father, who was there to celebrate her birthday, had to return from the entryway because her CEO didn't allow her to meet him. Lack of emotional connection, especially at young age, will affect their mental health in future, where they will find it very difficult to find meaning in any relationship because they were never allowed to have one when they needed them the most. And this loneliness is one of the main factors for loss of interest in life and wanting to end it. Monetary problems. Almost all of the Korean companies are heavily capitalistic, with their main focus on benefiting from the worker as much as they can, and having them get only a small percentage of the profit. Every company out there, with a few exceptions, give idols heavy training loans, take a very heavy percentage from their profit, and all those training loans are paid from idols' share. Most of the groups only get start having salary after many years in their career. And some, like the case with Luna, don't get paid at all and are still heavily in debt when they leave the idol industry. Short lifespan. Idols, unlike other artists around the world, have very short lifespan. And only if you are lucky and famous, you'll get to have a 7-year long career. Average Korean lifespan is more than 80 years. With so little time, there is constant anxiety that you might not make enough money for your whole life and you'll fail to make it a lifelong career. All these factors in the long term heavily affect their mental health. This industry makes them more prone to depression, anxiety, and self harm, and in the long term, might even take lives of few of them. I know this is a heavy topic, and I tried to explain it as best as I can, but this still needs heavy discussion